What if I told you I found a betting strategy that almost doubles your money, but also protects your stake just in case the bet doesn't hit? Well, in today's video, we're going to look at exactly that with the Asian corners market. Wait a minute. I forgot to mention that you can always improve your winning chances with Betscored. Visit betscored.com or download the app from Play Store. As we've covered in other videos, the most popular markets in football betting are usually the outright winner markets, where you bet on the home team to win, the away team to win, or a draw, and the goals markets, where you can bet on over or under a certain amount of goals, or even both teams to score. Historically, these are the markets that I and many other bettors have played in, because there's a wealth of information available to help you decide which team will win, or if there's going to be many or few goals in the game. But I've always been intrigued by the corners market. I've seen some bettors use it to varying degrees of success, but I've never seen a consistent winning strategy for this market. I mean, what factors do you even look at to analyze whether there's going to be many or few corners in a game? The data points that you need to look at are completely different to if you were researching an outright winner bet or a over-under goals bet. Also, we know football is an unpredictable game. I would say it's the most unpredictable sport in the world. So how are you supposed to research how many times an unpredictable event such as corners occurs in an unpredictable game? And it makes it even more difficult when we compare it against something like goals, which we know teams are trying to achieve, because we know teams aren't really trying to get corners in a game. It's not their main aim. Well, this is where the late game Asian corner strategy comes into play. And the first principle which underpins this strategy is that football is an unpredictable game. The way we combat the unpredictability of football is by limiting our time in the market. If we look at some of the other bets that we would typically place, with pre-match outright winner bets where you decide before the game which team is going to win, there is 90 minutes plus extra time in which you need your bet to hit. With the in-play outright winner bets, which I've been a big fan of and advocated a lot on this channel, usually you place your bet around the 60-minute mark, so there is 60 minutes plus extra time in which you need your bet to hit. For the both teams to score strategy, which I've also discussed on this channel, placing the bet around 15 minutes in leaves you with 75 minutes plus extra time for your bet to hit. The natural instinct is to think that with more time available for your bet to hit, that it has more chance of hitting. But because football is an unpredictable game, the longer that you're in the market, the more chance there is for that unpredictability to really mess up your bet. So with this late game Asian corner strategy, the bet is actually placed around 84 to 86 minutes into the game. That leaves us with around 5 minutes plus extra time for the bet to hit. And extra time is important for this strategy. By reducing the amount of time that the bet needs to hit, we reduce the unpredictability of football and therefore can make more consistent returns. The second principle that is crucial for this strategy is the market itself, and that is Asian corners. The Asian corners market sets a line for the number of corners, and you can bet whether it will be over or under this amount. If you bet the over and the total number of corners is greater than the line, then you win. But if you bet the over or even the under, and the number of corners at the end of the game is equal to exactly the line, then your stake is returned. This is huge because in betting, the attraction is the opportunity to make large amounts of money, but the risk is losing your money, your initial stake. With this added level of insurance, you might not make the same level of money as if you were betting on the normal corners market, but you protect your initial stake and balance far, far more. So first, I'll explain the basis for this strategy. And then we'll look at some factors that we look at for this to hit and some real life examples. For in-play games, you'll want to wait until around the 84th to 86th minute of the game. At this point, let's say that the total number of corners in the game so far is sitting at 10. At the 84th to 86th minute, the Asian corners market line should be at 11 corners. So you can decide to bet over or under this amount. And the odds offered for the over should be around 1.9. If you bet the over with the Asian corners market line at 11, you're essentially betting on 12 or more corners in the game. You need 2 or more corners to hit in the last 5 minutes plus extra time. Now, you might think this is a big ask, but this is where extra time comes into play. There has been an important development since the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Now extra time is actually being calculated based on the time that has been wasted during the game, rather than just being a general estimate. And in some of the European leagues, we're seeing extra time as high as 7 or 8 minutes, even when there hasn't been any significant delays due to injuries. Before the World Cup, the most amount of time you would get in a game where there hasn't been any big injuries would probably be around 5 minutes, and even that was rare. This changed after the success of the Qatar World Cup, where they measured time accurately that needed to be added on to the end of the games. Well, how does this affect our strategy? Well, now knowing that extra time could be as high as 7 or 8 minutes, and we said we needed 2 corners to occur in the remaining part of the game. Before, we were looking at it as 2 corners in 5 minutes plus extra time. But if extra time can be as high as 8 minutes now, we need 2 corners in the last 13 minutes of games in most cases. This is much, much more achievable. And don't forget about the insurance as well that you get with the Asian corners market. If only 1 corner occurs in those last 13 minutes, then you get your stake back. And all of this you get at odds of 1.9, essentially doubling your money. So how do we go about finding which games to bet on? You know, you've got hundreds of games on at the weekend. What's an easy strategy first to start with on how to apply this late game Asian corners strategy? Well, an easy method to apply first of all is when a stronger team, usually playing at home, but this can also apply for very strong teams playing away from home, late on in the game, they are either drawing or losing the game. What usually happens is that the weaker team that they are playing against are happy to take the win or take a point from the draw and end up sitting back in front of their goal and parking the bus. This allows for the stronger team to send all of their players forward and play in the opposition half. But how do corners arise? Well, with the park the bus philosophy, the idea is to protect the goal, so the defensive team will start to play with less width and put their players in front of the goal. The attacking team, seeing this, know that the only way to score is either to take long shots, which is a big no-no for possession-heavy teams which are focused on creating high XG chances, or to penetrate the back line by working the ball into wide areas and crossing the ball into the box. The more the ball is in these wide areas, the much greater the chance of a corner occurring. Okay, so first up, to show you how this late game Asian corner strategy works, we've got the Aston Villa game against Arsenal. This took place on the 18th of February. And as you can see, Aston Villa started the game quite well and were up 2-1 within 31 minutes. Arsenal got an equaliser within the 61st minute, but then looking towards the end of the game, of course, at 2-2, Arsenal were trying to push on for the win. You know, they are title contenders this season, and with Manchester City hot on their tails, they needed to get 3 points. If we go to the 85th minute in this game, and we look at the number of corners, we've got 8 corners currently in this game. And with the Asian corner strategy, the late game Asian corner strategy, around the 85th minute, the line for Asian corners should be over or under 9. And you will get odds of around 1.9. So here you bet the over, knowing that Arsenal are going to be pushing on and probably attacking in those wide areas. You bet over 9 in the Asian corners market at odds of 1.9. And if we look towards the end of the game, where the number of corners ended up with 11 corners in this game. So the over hits and you basically double your money. We can look at this with another example here with Real Madrid. So on the 5th of February, Mallorca against Real Madrid. Mallorca get an early goal in the 13th minute of the game, and then, as you can imagine, playing Spanish giants such as Real Madrid, sat back for most of the game and just tried to protect that 1-0 lead. And as Real Madrid get more and more desperate, they throw more and more players forward, and Mallorca are defending the box in front of their goal. So here, if we go to the 85th minute, the number of corners in the game currently at 85th minute is 10. So again, the Asian corners market here is always going to be +1 to the current number of corners. So the Asian corners line is going to be over or under 11. And if we bet the over at odds of around 1.9, we're looking for 12 or more corners in the game for this bet to hit. And if we look where the game ended up, and you'll note here, 8 minutes of extra time. Like we said, extra time after the Qatar World Cup is completely different now and actually works in our favor. We had 10 corners at the 85th minute, and now the game ended up at 13 corners. So we would have bet over 11 in the Asian corners market, and the game ended up at 13 corners. Another easy opportunity to double your money. And I just want to show you the last thing, how the insurance works with the late game Asian corners strategy. Here we've got Monaco at home to Reims. And Monaco were losing this game 1-0. Reims got a goal in the second half in the 51st minute. So you can imagine Monaco were pushing in the second half, and especially in the last 10-15 minutes to get a goal. At 85 minutes, the total number of corners was 5. So the Asian corners line is going to be over or under 6. And if we look towards the end, we had 4 minutes of extra time here, which is okay. And the game ended on 6 corners. So it landed exactly on the line that in these cases, you get your money back. So that's the late game Asian corner strategy. It gives you good odds of around 1.9, almost doubling your initial stake, but with the added insurance of getting your money back in the case that only one corner hits. By limiting the bet to the last 10 minutes, with us knowing exactly what's going to happen in those last 10 minutes, the attacking team are pushing on for a goal and will work the wide areas, then we are limiting the unpredictability of football. There's always going to be an element of luck with football betting, but what we can say is that if the ball is in these wide areas, there is a much greater chance of corners occurring. If you want to see a follow-up video on how to apply this strategy for other games, as well as how to estimate the number of minutes that will be added on at the end of a game, then please leave a comment and like below. It will let me know that you really enjoyed the video, and if we can get this video to 500 likes, then I'll be sure to drop the part 2. Almost forgot to mention that you can always improve your winning chances with Betscored. Visit betscored.com or download the app from Play Store. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, goodbye.